Hey guys, so here's the next part of what if Goku was like Dr. Gero. So we left off seeing Vegeta blasting off to go and find planet Namek in hope of getting the Dragon Balls and wishing for immortality. In the meantime, Goku and Piccolo are simply thinking of how they're gonna tell Bulma that their son died in combat. So they go back home and they tell Bulma what happened, to which she's obviously very angry, and they promise her that he'll be back by the end of the day. So simply Goku and Piccolo go to Kami. They ask for the Dragon Balls. Using the Dragon Ball radar, they find all of them, and they wish back Gohan as if nothing had ever happened in the first place. But this experience traumatizes Gohan, as he realizes that if he's weak and any threat comes and his dad's not around to save him, anything could happen to him or the people he cares about. As he then tells Goku, Dad, I want to become stronger. As Goku then looks at Gohan and says, boy, so it's strength you want. Well, that's simple enough to achieve, but it takes a lot of hard work. And you're a smart kid. I'll show you some of the science I used to help this process, to basically help you maximize your potential. As Gohan is quite intrigued by this, as then Goku then gives Gohan some of the same abilities that he currently has, such as the ability to copy techniques, and he gives Gohan an increased stamina, and he decides to invite Gohan once in a while to his training sessions with Raditz, as they realize that they're gonna have to leave to planet Namek in the next few months. So Goku then tells Bulma to build them a spaceship using Kami's old space pod and Goku's old space pod. So Bulma's building Goku, Raditz and Gohan a spaceship that they can live in. Bulma allows Gohan to go on this trip, as Goku says, trouble is gonna come wherever he is, especially since these aliens know he exists. The safest position he can be in is if he's with me, because I'm the strongest one on the planet who can protect him. To which Bulma agrees and knows that since Gohan is part Saiyan, it will make him stronger. And worst case scenario, they do have the Dragon Balls. So, in the meanwhile, while Goku, Gohan and Raditz are training, Raditz tells Goku and Gohan about the harsher gravity of planet Vegeta and how it made Saiyan stronger, which gives Goku the idea to tell Bulma to add it into the spaceship. And on top of that, Goku then tells Raditz and Gohan that on top of strength, technique is also something that can change the tide of a battle very significantly. As he then takes Raditz and Gohan to Kami's lookout and tells Kami their predicament. Kami, knowing that Goku and Raditz and Gohan are trying to help his people, the Namekians, has a personal interest in actually helping them. So he decides to help however he can. And he tells Goku and Gohan about this technique called the Kaioken and how it's taught by the King Kai of Otherworld. But Kami explains to them how it takes very many months to actually reach King Kai and a few months to get back to which everyone realizes that this is not a feasible thing that they can do. But Kami then gives them an alternative, as he then says, actually a few years ago, two strong warriors died and went to train with King Kai, and they both acquired the Kaioken and another technique. If you're willing to negotiate with them, they might be able to teach you. Goku realizes the value of the Kaioken because combined with his scientific enhancements and his increased stamina, and on top of the fact that they have a near unlimited supply of senzu beans, it is an effective way to multiply your power in a short burst, if necessary. As Goku then says to Kami that he should call whoever he taught these techniques. As a few hours pass and up on Kami's lookout approaches Roshi and Krillin. Goku, of course, is a bit traumatized from this too, as he then shouts to Kami, "What were you doing bringing these guys back to life? How dare you? You betrayed me." As Kami then explains to Goku how they helped him with Demon King Piccolo, especially Roshi helped him with Demon King Piccolo all those years ago, so he owed him a favor. And on top of that, he didn't seem, as the Watcher of Earth, he didn't think that it made sense to leave the fate of the planet in the hands of one scientist and his family, to which Goku can somewhat understand the logic of, but doesn't mean that he likes Roshi or Krillin anymore, or that he plans to work with them for any long period of time. As Goku then says, okay, the second one was a boy when he did what he did to me. He can stay. But that old man, I never want to see that guy in my sight for the rest of my life. The next time I see him, I don't know what I'll do. As Kami understands that this is not just a threat, and Goku means business. As he then tells Roshi to leave, leaving Krillin with this imposing group of Saiyans, to which he's a bit nervous and just lightly says hello, to which no one actually replies. So Raditz is the first one to start speaking as he says, let's get on with it then, why don't we? As they then all decided to head into the hyperbolic time chamber to start their training. So Kami explains to them how there's only food to last 2 people for 1 year, to which Goku then proudly shows his scientific senzu beans, and then says, oh, that's no problem. And on top of that, me personally, I've been modified to not need food for at least 2 months. I just eat because I like food, as he chuckles to himself. So Kami then allows all of them to enter. So in the meantime, while they're training in here, Piccolo hears about this Kaioken technique. And since they couldn't fit an extra person into the time chamber, he flies to where Roshi is directly. As he then makes a deal with him, he tells Roshi that if he teaches him the Kaioken, he will always do whatever he can to act in the best interests of planet Earth. And since Roshi knows that he can trust Piccolo's promises more than he can trust Goku, who only cares about a good fight, he decides to make this deal with Piccolo. As Roshi, who's a very good teacher, is able to teach Piccolo the Kaioken much more efficiently and without need of the hyperbolic time chamber. So a full day passes in the time chamber, and Goku, Raditz, and Gohan leave with Krillin. All of them actually look exhausted, which surprises them. This is because Krillin, of course, had done a lot of heavy training with King Kai, which definitely boosted his power. And on top of that, had gotten decent use of the Kaioken, being able to boost it to ×3. And of course, all the Saiyans had to stay in their base forms, no Great Ape or Ikari forms, because, of course, Kaioken is a technique that would clash with that. So they were all just basically using their base power. So after training with each other and learning this technique from Krillin, they managed to get a decent handle of Kaioken. But of course, since Krillin is not as effective as a teacher as they would like, they were only really able to learn a ×2 Kaioken in this time. Of course, as time passes, it will increase, but for now it's a ×2 multiplier on each of their powers. In the meantime, since Goku did a lot more modifications to Piccolo, especially on the stamina side, Piccolo is actually able to pick up this Kaioken technique quite quickly also, as he's able to basically, in the span of, I would say 3 weeks now, he manages to get a Kaioken ×2, and he's on the cusp of learning ×3. And on top, I'll say that, I'm saying it like this because Kaioken isn't an ordinary technique where mechanics can just copy it and do it. The Kaioken, it's the same reason why you don't see Cell doing the Kaioken. It's a Kai's technique. So I'll say that the Saiyans have to learn it in the conventional way, and so does Piccolo. In this 1 year, whether Goku liked it or not, he actually found himself getting quite close to Krillin, as he could have imagined them being friends in another life, or if circumstances were different, as even Krillin and Gohan became friends, as Gohan started calling him uncle. As Krillin asks Goku for some extra time training with Gohan, as he has a technique that he thinks would work perfectly for him. As Goku then agrees, knowing that Gohan is actually stronger than Krillin at this point, now that he knows the Kaioken. As Krillin senses the pure-hearted nature of Gohan and decides to teach him the Spirit Bomb. Since Goku can't really be classified as pure of heart in this scenario, so the Spirit Bomb wouldn't really work for him. So, with this, the team is ready to depart. Krillin asks to join in, as basically he wants to also test his martial arts and become stronger, while also he's quite curious on what space is like. Who wouldn't want that opportunity? So, in this scenario, since Goku and Gohan both know how to handle technology, there's no need for Bulma to come through, as Bulma thinks it will be safer for her to be able to manage things at home with the help of some of the androids that Goku had made specifically to protect Capsule Corp and Bulma. They're not very strong, they're not as strong as Piccolo, but they're good enough to hold their own against any Earth-related threat. So, with this, the team embarks. It takes a while, and eventually they arrive to planet Namek. Of course, they did training with high gravity, pushing their techniques and abilities to the limit, getting much more powerful, and eventually they're at a point where they can all hold their own in this part of the series. So now they arrive and they get out, and the first thing they see is a group of Namekians approaching them, as they ask them to identify themselves. As soon as they see Piccolo, though, they get very interested, as Piccolo then talks to them and explains how they come from planet Earth, and they decide to point Goku and his team towards the Grand Elder Guru. So, in this scenario, Goku is also thinking that if they are going to have the Dragon Balls anyway, they should have a suitable wish. As Goku then thinks that he's basically learnt everything that he can learn on planet Earth, and it seemed like this King Kai only really knew the Kaioken and the Spirit Bomb. So, in order to learn more, he's going to have to find a new planet that knows a lot more things. As he then decides that he's going to wish, if possible, he's going to wish to be sent to a planet with a lot of wisdom and knowledge, so he can basically learn from them and train there. So, anyways, they continue and they make it to Grand Elder Guru. And the Elder Guru is happy to meet one of his own kind from another planet, as he talks with Piccolo and learns what had gone on planet Earth, as they even set up telepathic links with Kami, so now they can communicate. Guru then reads Goku's mind actually, and then sees that Goku is not really a bad person, but you wouldn't classify him as good either. But at the moment their goals align, as it's in Goku's best interests to protect planet Namek, as in case anything ever happens, it's a good way to get a wish to bring people back if anything ever happens to planet Earth. So, since Guru knows that Goku would never do anything bad to Namek, or the people of Namek, he decides to then unlock all of their potentials, basically. Goku then refuses, as he says he wants to get stronger in his own way. But Gohan, Raditz, and Krillin don't refuse, of course, because at this point they know that Goku has a much bigger gap in strength compared to them, and that's due to the fact that he's very experienced with his science and knows how to use it effectively. So everyone gets their potential unlocked and they get a power boost. And eventually, at this point, Vegeta's on a whole opposite part of the planet, of course, and Vegeta did not let his time go to waste, as he realized that these Saiyans of planet Earth had a lot of potential and a lot of strength compared to him, and they might have only gotten stronger. Since last time he saw Raditz, he was as weak as a Cyberman. Then next thing, he's able to defeat him, so he knew that he had to train in order to beat them. As Vegeta also masters this Ikari state, giving him a 10 times multiplier. But on top of that, he does heavy training. He literally decides to ask Frieza to attack him to the point of near death, just so he can spam as many Zenkai boosts as he can, bringing him up to a very respectable level, actually comparable with Raditz at this point. before Raditz got his potential unlocked, that is. And this is about time that the Frieza Force arrives, and they arrive right in front of Vegeta, as Frieza then demands for Vegeta's Dragon Ball. And Vegeta, knowing the vast difference in their powers, just by sensing it, he knew that he couldn't beat Frieza at this current point, as he decides to simply give Frieza his current Dragon Balls, damaging his pride. However, he senses, since he learned how to sense energy, same as the original story, he senses that both Raditz and Goku's energy seem to be present. So he thought of considering an alliance between them, as if they defeat Frieza, then there'll be nothing to stop Vegeta, and Vegeta can just leave planet Earth alone, and no one will stress him out. So that's the next part of Vegeta's plan, and he thinks that now he's gotten quite a bit stronger anyway. So if worse comes to worse, he can just steal the wish for immortality and kill them all, as revenge for what they did on planet Earth. So Vegeta then tells Frieza that he's going to go and search for more Dragon Balls on the other side of the planet, since at this point he has his whole force to check this side, as Frieza thinks nothing of it, and then allows Vegeta to go, as Vegeta goes directly towards where Goku and his team is located, as he lands face to face with Goku, as Goku looks at him with a serious face and then says, "What do you want? Have you come to try and kill us already? Well, if that's the challenge, we're ready for it." And that's where I'll leave this part off for right now. If you like it, please like and subscribe, and I'll post the next part as soon as tomorrow if I can. So thanks so much for watching, and have a good day, guys. I'll see you guys later.